Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Meydan Racecourse here on night one of the Dubai World Cup Carnival. It is Friday, the 6th of January, 2023. Going to look at almost all the races on night one of the Carnival from Meydan, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5 for more selections for race courses around the world. The Dubai season of the World Cup season starts up very early this year, it seems. Last year it seemed like and the year before, it seemed like it started late January. I know in 2020 it started very early, also like January 2nd, but it doesn't bother me. I like these races. Night one of the Carnival, we're going to look at almost all the races except the Purebred Arabian race. We're going to skip over that race because I had too many horses I could have picked in that race, and it's going to be a random result. So we're going to skip that race. We're going to start off with the second race, the first thoroughbred event of the night. It is the Dubai Racing Club Classic. It's a handicap going for a $100,000 purse race for 4-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 16 horses entered to go 2,400 meters or one lap around the turf course, which is a mile and a half in circumference. I'm going to take here the 3-horse Walk of the Stars as top selection. Let's go 3-10-2 in your TriCash trifecta. 3-10-2 TriCash trifecta. Top selection 3-horse Walk of the Stars. Walk of Stars, excuse me, not the Stars. Walk of Stars. This 4-year-old Gellin by Dubawi, Godolphin, Charlie Appleby trains, William Buick, who had a great 2022 campaign, gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the 17th of August at York, a mile and a half in the Group 2 Great Voltaire Stakes, and the horse finished fourth by 8 3/4 lengths that day, and he just kind of stalked. He had the lead for a split portion, but then the better horses got to him. Dovia Legend, who beat this horse 2 starts in a row, really put on a show. This horse just wasn't excelling. Refreshing here as a new gelding, lesser quality horses, very good poster, could be forwardly paced. I think he's in a better spot to win, and I think he get the victory. 2 back around the 7th of July at Newmarket, a mile 5/8 in the Group 3 Bahrain Trophy. He finished third by a neck that day, and he was very rambunctious, sweating that day. He had a good trip. He stalked. He just couldn't keep up late. It was an all-out finish, but he still ran his heart out there. But, he was very rambunctious. I think the geld should really suit him into his 4-year-old campaign. And then prior to that, he ran the Group 1 Derby at Epsom over the mile and a half on the 4th of June. He finished 17th by 50 lengths, and he just really had nothing, absolutely nothing. Not his day to win. And then prior to that, he actually ran in the Lingfield Derby trial over the mile 7:16, 7th of May. He placed behind United Nations that day, finished second by 3/4 length. He didn't have the best beginnings, but he was under the drive. He was excelling that day. But I've seen worse race from him. And then prior to that, in a conditions race at Newmarket over the 2,000 meters, he won by a neck that day. Again, didn't break so well, but as a small group of horses that day, he really settled well and got the job done late. Refreshing here, I think he's in a very good spot. I think the stablemate, the 10-horse first ruler for Charlie Appleby and Mikael Barzalone is your second likeliest winner. Most recently in a heritage handicap over the mile and a half in Newmarket, he finished 5th by 6 1/4 lengths, and he just needs something more late, but he ran his heart out there. And then I like the win in July at Ascot over the mile and a quarter. He's another horse, he's drawn a little bit wide, but I think he has the pedigree to win here and the class to win. I definitely use in your multi-race quad pod or place pod wagers, place pod here. But to recount my selection for the second from Meydan's Dubai Racing Club Classic, let's take the 3-horse Walk of Stars. Give kudos to the 10-horse here, first ruler. 3-10-2 TriCash trifecta. 3-10 in your place pod. To the third race, to the dirt from Meydan, it is the Group 3 Dubawi Stakes. It's a Group 3 event going for a purse of $150,000, race for 3-year-olds and upwards. 12 horses were entered, but keep in mind the 4-horse Freedom Fighter is a withdrawal, so he'll be scratched. He'll be down to a field of 11 horses, going 1,200 meters or 6 furlongs on the main dirt track. My top selection, I'm going to go with the number 12 horse here, Tuz. Let's go 12-11-9 in your TriCash trifecta. 12-11-9 TriCash trifecta. Top selection 12 horse Tuz, or Twos. The 6-year-old Gellin by Oxbow. Richard Mullins on this one. His seasonal reappearance came in a listed stakes here at Meydan last month over the 6 furlongs. Cutting back in trip for the first time in quite a while. I thought it was a pretty good race. He finished second by 1.5 lengths. He set the pace. He got caught in the final few strides of the race, but he ran, not a bad race at all. Cutting back from the mile race from last year, should on a speed favoring track, should get a good trip again. I think he could set up for his own way, and I think he could go wire to wire and win it again here today. Before that, he ran against 2 tough competition on World Cup night here at Meydan. 1 mile in the Group 2 Godolphin Mile. He finished 12th by 18 lengths that day, had a very wide post drop, and he just never really showed up. It wasn't his day to win. And then the Group 3 Burj Nahar at Meydan over the mile on the 5th of March. He finished third by 2.5 lengths that day, and he just kind of stalked. He had lead for a split portion, but then the classier horses got to him. And then the Group 3 Firebreak here at Meydan over the mile last February. He finished third by 3.5 lengths. Again, he stalked, but he just couldn't keep there. Like I said, I just don't think he wants to go the mile anymore. I think he wants to cut back to 6. Cutting back again to 6, I think at 6-1 he's a very likely winner. Your second likeliest winner is 11 horse Switzerland. Tang O'Shea's on this one. 9-year-old gelding now by Spicetown, so he's been around the block a few times. He was quite a few years ago. Was based stateside here under the care of Steve Afson. I want to say he won the De Francis Dash or something like that at Laurel, or ran in it. I don't think he was a great horse stateside. And he, at the beginning of his UAE career, he wasn't the best horse, but he's really become a seasoned veteran. Finally winning the Group 1 Dubai Golden Shaheen last time out at Meydan, closing up for nowhere. I thought that was a very good victory there for him. Before that, in the Riyadh Cup sprint in Saudi Arabia over the 6, he finished 6 by 11 lengths, not really showing up from the wide post draw. And then in the listed stakes on New Year's Day last year, he made on. He won by 9.25 lengths, coming up from mid pack. I thought that was a very good race. His form last year wasn't bad at all. The only subpar race was at Riyadh, but he's refreshing here. It wouldn't surprise me if he closes up to a good victory if Tuz just completely hits the wall and crumbles. If there's going to be a pace meltdown, Switzerland can get the job done. Definitely using your multi-race. But to recap my selection for the third from Meydan, it's the Group 3 Dubawi Stakes. Let's take the 12-horse Tuz. Give kudos to the 11-horse Switzerland. 12-11-9 Tri-Cash Trifecta. 12-11 in your place pot, or quad pot, whatever you decide to play. Let's get to the fourth race now from Meydan, which is the Jumeirah Classic Trial. It's a conditions race going for $150,000, race for 3-year-olds only. 11 horses are going 1,400 meters or 7 furlongs on the turf course. I'm going to take here the number 5 horse, Courageous Knight. Let's go 5-6-4 in your Tri-Cash Trifecta. 5-6-4 Tri-Cash Trifecta. Top selection of 5 horse Courageous Knight. This 3-year-old gelding by Dubawi. Godolphin Doan. Charlie Appy trains. William Buick gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came 3rd of September at Ascot, yielding ground 7 furlongs and a handicap there. And he finished 4th by 2 3/4 lengths that day. And he didn't break so well. He was very, under the drive. He moved a little bit late, but he still needed something. I don't think he really liked the yielding ground. He's going to get a lot faster ground today, so you get a good trip. And I think he could really get the job done. 2 back to 18th of August at York, 7 furlongs and a handicap. He finished 3rd by 1 3/4 lengths that day. And again, he didn't break that day, but he settled well. He moved a little bit late, but he ran his heart out there. And then on the 14th of July at Epsom on very fast ground, 7 furlongs in a main race. He won by 4 3/4 lengths that day, and he stalked. He got the lead under the drive, and he was excelling there. Very, very good run. Before that, Doncaster novice race over the 7, he finished 2nd by a neck. And again, he ran his heart out. He had the lead. He just got caught late, but it was still a very good run. Coming here today, it wouldn't surprise me if he runs a good race. The 6 horse Felix Natalis is your second likeliest winner here. Richard Kingscoats on this one, who I believe is going to ride at Gulfstream in the next few weeks. If it's not next week, it's the week after. But good to see him riding in the UAE a little bit this winter. Tom Dascombe trains his 3-year-old colt by Harry's Angel. Most recently listed stakes at York over the 6th. He finished 3rd by 3 lengths, where he just had the lead. He just kind of got overtaken, but again, he ran his heart out there. Before then, an auction race at Nace over the 6, he won by 2 lengths and really put on a show there. A very good run. And then he had a victory before that, Floss against lesser quality horses, but it was still a very good run. He started quite a few times as a 2-year-old last year, and he was running these decent races. To find a good trip here at 10-1, and wouldn't surprise me he steals it here. But to recap my selection for the 4th from Meydan's Jumeirah Classic Trial, let's take the 5 horse Courageous Knight. Give kudos to the 6 horse Felix Natilis. 5-6-4 Tri-Cash Trifecta. 5-6 in your place or quad pod. The featured 5th race now from Meydan. It's the Group 1 it's Group 2 Maktoum Challenge Round 1. It's a Group 2 event for Class 1 horses going for a $250,000 purse, race for 3-year-olds and upwards. 17 horses are entered, with 17 horses in AE, so only 16 can go 1,600 meters or a mile in the Maktoum Challenge Round 1. My top selection here, I'm going to go with the number 13 horse, Prince Ejai. I'm going to go 1353 in your TriCast trifecta. 1353 TriCast trifecta. Top selection of the 13 horse, Prince Ejai. This several going by Dubawi here. Doug Watson trains. Sam Hitchcock gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the 1st of December at Meydan. 1 mile on the listed stakes there, and he won by 1.5 lengths. He basically had the dream trip. He stalked all the way around the racetrack from a good inside post draw. When he got the good turn of foot at the top lane, he quickened up and he got the job done off the bench. I thought that was a very good race. Coming back here, not the world's toughest race. Should get a good trip from the post draw. I think he's sitting on a good run. I think he could win. 2 back on Super Saturday here, made on 7 furlongs in that handicap. He finished 10th by 6.5 lengths that day, and he just stalked and completely hit the wall. I don't think he liked the turf that day. But prior to that, in the Group 3 Fire Break Stakes at Meydan, 1 mile, 4th of February, he finished 4th by 9 lengths. Again, he stalked that day, but hypothetical really took off clear. This horse just wasn't getting to him. And then last December of 2021 at Meydan, 7 furlongs in a conditions race. He finished 2nd by nose that day, and he was on the front end. He got caught, but what can you do? He still ran his heart out. He has some speed. He could track here. I think he's a versatile horse. I think he'd get a good trip at 15 to 1, or excuse me, 5 to 1. I'm going to use him. I think your second likeliest winner here is the 5 horse Desert Wisdom. Andre De Vries gets on this one. Most recently ran in the Godolphin Mile and World Cup night here over the mile, where he finished 2nd by 1.5 lengths that day, and he just couldn't keep up late, but he ran his heart out there from a tracking position. Prior to that, in the Burj Nahar over the mile here, Meydan, he won by 1.5 lengths that day, and he sat back early when the pace melted down. He really got the go-away victory. And then at Jebel Ali, he just wasn't handling the quirkiness of Jebel Ali. Like I was saying, he just wasn't handling the quirkiness of Jebel Ali. It's a right-handed course, and you're basically going uphill for that final 4 furlongs, and it's a very steep hill. Horses either handle it or don't. He definitely didn't handle it there. Refreshing after that in the Burj Nahar, he really put on a show. Coming here off the bench, his prior race definitely won against these horses. He likes running here. He's a course and distance winner. 5 to 2. We'll use him on the ticket. Did you notice the jump cut there? But to recap my selection for the 5th from Meydan, it's the Group 2 Round 1 Al Maktoum Challenge. Let's take as a top selection the 13 horse Prince Ejai. 13 horse Prince Ejai. Give kudos to the 5 horse here, Desert Wisdom. 13.53 TriCast trifecta. 13.5 in your multi-race. The co-featured 6th race from Meydan. It is the Group 2 Fahidi Fort Stakes. It's a Group 2 event for going for a purse fund under $80,000. Race for 3-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 15 horses going 1,400 meters or 7 furlongs on the turf course. I'm going to take here the number 10 horse, Misty Gray. Let's go 10 to 11 in your TriCast trifecta. 10 to 11 TriCast trifecta. Top selection 10 horse Misty Gray. This 6-year-old gelding by Dark Angel. Tom Dascombe trains. Richard Kingscote gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came at Newmarket on the 7th of October. 7 furlongs in the Group 2 Challenge Stakes, and he finished 3rd by 2 lengths. He just kind of stalked. He was on the drive. He was excelling late. It wasn't the world's worst race for him. He just got beat by slightly better horses on the day, but he ran his heart out. That race could definitely win against these horses. Refreshing here with a good poster, with a tracking position trip. I think he could get the job done. 2 back in the Group 2 Park Stakes at Doncaster. Soft ground, 7 furlongs on the 11th of September. He finished 4th by 5.25 lengths that day, and he sat back early. He moved a little bit late, but it wasn't anything spectacular. I don't think he really liked the soft going. And then the Supreme Stakes at Goodwood over the 7 furlongs, 20th of August. He finished 2nd by a head that day, and he was on the front end. He got overtaken late. He ran his heart out, but he just couldn't keep up there. And then prior to that, in a handicap, a ripping over the 6th. He finished 14th by 11 lengths that day, and he just completely hit the wall. He had one victory in 2022 that actually came at Chelmsford on the polytrack, 6 furlongs on a handicap, winning by a half a length with a ginormous weight on his back. He stalked, he got the lead, and he got the job done. Refreshing here at 6 to 1, I think he could get the job done, along with the 2 horse Also Heal. James Doyle's on this one for Charlie Appleby hasn't been seen since the Benno Stakes at Ascot over the yielding ground, 6 furlongs 1st of October, where he finished 7 by 4.5 lengths, and he completely crumbled under the pace pressure. It wasn't his day to win. Before then, the Park Stakes at Doncaster, he finished third by 2 3/4 lengths, and again he weakened out of it. Not a soft ground horse, and then he faced two tough horses in the Group Two City of York Stakes, York. That race could have been a Group One. Off the bench, tough horses. He finished fifth by 6 lengths, never getting into it. He ran here once in that handicap last year on Super Saturday where he just got overbet and completely hit the wall. He hasn't won since the Challenge Stakes of 2021 at Newmarket where he won quite easily. Coming here today at 5-1, I think he could find his hidden form. Let's use him on the ticket also. But to recap my selection for the 6 from Meydan, it's the Group 2 Fahidi Fort. Let's take the 10 horse Misty Gray. Give kudos to the 2 horse Al Sahil. 10-11, Tri-Cash, Trifecta. 10-2 in your place pot or multi-race wager. The nightcap, the 7th race from Meydan, it is the Dubai Dash. It's a listed stakes going for $100,000 purse races for 3-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 20 horses entered, but only 16 could dash 1,000 meters or 5 furlongs on the turf course. I'm going to take here the 7 horse Kadim as a top selection. I'm going to go 7-1-3 in your Tri-Cash Trifecta. 7-1-3 Tri-Cash Trifecta. Top selection 7 horse Kadim. The 7-year-old gelding by Dark Angel. Charlie Hill trains. Tom Marquand gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came 3rd September at Haydock. 6 furlongs in the Group 1 Sprint Cup. He finished 9th by 10 lengths that day, and he just didn't have the best of trips. He got bumped that day. He was towards the back, and he just never was really comfortable. He does his better running style when he's closer to the pace. Hopefully seeing a little bit more closer to the pace, more into it early on. I think he can run a good race, and I think he'd get the job done. 2 back in the Group 1 Nunthorpe at York, 5 furlongs on the 19th of August. He finished 4th by 5 lengths that day, and again, he was with him early on. He just kind of hit the wall late, but he ran his heart out there. It was a good race, better than the race afterwards, but he still could have improved off of that. And then before that, in the Group 2 King George Qatar Stakes at Goodwood, 5 furlongs, 29th of July, off the bench. He won by a neck that day, and he sat back early. He slowly moved his way up, and he had to be used a lot that day, but he got the job done. A very good race there. And then at Newmarket on the 30th of April, 5 furlongs in the Group 3 Palace House Stakes. He won by a neck that day. He was all out, getting the job done. A very good race. Ran here last season where he didn't run, he wasn't running bad, but he just wasn't getting the check. But coming here, I'm going to use him on the ticket as a top selection. I think your second likeliest winner is the 1 horse Lazuli. James Dell is on this one for Charlie Appleby and Godolphin. Most recently in the Nunthorpe, he just didn't run. He finished 7 by 6 lengths and never quickened up. Before then, the King George Qatar, again, he finished 4th by length, never really getting the job done. He had one victory last year that came here in the in the Blue Point Sprint, where he won by 1.5 lengths, going away. Very good run, a decent place before that in the listed stakes here last year over the 6. Going to use him on the ticket. I think he definitely win coming back to Meydan. But to recap my selection for the nightcap, 7th race Meydan, it's the Dubai Dash. Let's take the 7 horse Kadim. Give kudos to the 1 horse Lazuli. 7-1-3 Tri-Cash Trifecta. 7-1 in your multi-race. So good luck to all. Please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5. Good luck, everybody.